All right. We ready? That's loaded there.
Good morning. We're here today for the weekend in custody arraignment calendar. Today is Sunday, February 15th. Are we ready to begin?
Yes, Your Honor. We just had one person walking in right now, but we're ready to begin.
The state's ready as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Judge Kendra Birchie. And are there any special requests or regarding the order of today's proceedings or requests for continuances before we begin?
None from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Thank you. The first case we will call is Efren Esteban Vasquez, followed by Joseph Arias.
Ok, la primera causa que vamos a llamar es Efraín Esteban Vázquez.
Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing.
Buenos días, estamos aquí para la primera comparecencia, que es su audiencia para fijar fianza.
Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant.
Se ha encontrado motivo fundado y la oficina de abogados de oficio se ha nombrado para representarlo a usted.
I am in receipt of the Nevada pre-trial risk assessment, which indicates that the defendant scored as a 5 or a moderate risk utilizing that tool.
Tenemos entonces la evaluación previa al juicio de Nevada y usted salió con un puntaje 5 que es de moderado a reincidir.
Just for the record, the defendant is present utilizing the services of a previously sworn and certified Spanish interpreter.
Para que conste en acta, usted está representado entonces acá y está siendo asistido por su intérprete jurídica que ha sido previamente juramentada, Jimena Fini, certified con interpreter Spanish. Good morning.
Good morning. And State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Fiscalía, ¿está usted lista para proceder con la audiencia?
Yes, Your Honor. So the problem for Mr. Esteban Vasquez is unfortunately he has an immigration hold.
Sí, su señoría, el problema con el señor Esteban Vázquez es que él tiene una orden de retención con inmigración.
And so this does make him a risk of future non-appearance in that if he's deported, he won't be able to appear on this case.
Eso lo hace entonces a él que esté en riesgo de no volver acá a comparecer porque está en riesgo de ser deportado en este caso.
He has no prior documented criminal history,
Él no tiene antecedentes penales registrados,
but due to his risk of future non-appearance, the state's requesting $3,000 bail.
pero debido a que corremos el riesgo de que él no vaya a comparecer, por lo tanto queremos pedir una fianza de $3,000.
With pretrial services supervision with testing for alcohol if he's able to post.
Usted estaría entonces teniendo que reportarse con la unidad PCU y tienen que hacerle pruebas al azar por alcohol.
Thank you, defense.
Your Honor, we are going to be asking for an own recognizance release today.
Su señoría, vamos a pedir que le den palabra de honor en este caso.
I understand he has an immigration hold, but that is a federal hold.
Entiendo de que él tiene una orden de retención con inmigración, pero eso es una retención federal.
The federal hold is completely separate from what the NPRA says.
Eso es completamente separado lo que dice la orden de la evaluación de Nevada previo al riesgo.
The federal hold is something that should not be taken in consideration because with the federal hold, he can bail out of that as well.
Esa orden de retención federal no debería ser considerada porque en ese caso él también podría salir bajo fianza.
He has been in the area for 1 year.
Él ha estado en el área por 1 año.
Same address for 8 months.
La misma dirección por 8 meses.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to provide us with an address.
Desafortunadamente no nos pudo dar su domicilio.
But he has informed me as well that he has been with Erickson Framing for about 7 months.
Pero él me ha dicho que ha estado con Erickson Framing por alrededor de 7 meses.
Unfortunately, he doesn't remember anyone's number to confirm anything this morning.
Desafortunadamente, él no recuerda ningún número de teléfono para confirmar eso esta mañana.
But the biggest thing is that this is his first lifetime arrest.
Pero la cosa es de que esta es la primera vez en su vida que él tiene un arresto.
So there's nothing that's before us that would show that he's a risk of not coming back to court.
No hay nada que nos muestre que él no vaya a regresar aquí al tribunal.
But what we do see is that he is not a threat to the community because this is his first lifetime arrest.
Pero tampoco creemos que él es un riesgo para la comunidad porque esta es la primera vez en su vida que él es arrestado.
So with that being said, Your Honor, I am asking for an OR release with pretrial supervision and drug and alcohol testing, and I will submit on that.
Con eso, su señoría, yo le pido de que lo deje salir bajo palabra de honor, con que él se tenga que estar reportando a la unidad previa al juicio, con supervisión y evaluaciones al azar de consumo de alcohol o drogas.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178, the court does find that the state has met its burden.
Gracias. Basándose entonces en los hechos y en la evaluación primer riesgo de NRS 178, yo creo entonces de que sí, la Fiscalía ha aprobado.
The state has proven by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the appearance of the defendant.
Creemos que por pruebas claras y convincentes, entonces la fianza es necesaria y que él, para poder asegurarnos de que él va a regresar a comparecer.
The court is considering if the federal hold as that if the defendant is able to be released on this case will indicate that he's not able to appear for court.
Bueno, vamos a tomar en consideración también su orden de retención federal y que él puede también salir en libertad en este caso.
Additionally, I'll note the lack of ties to this community as outlined in the NPRA.
Y también vamos a considerar la falta de lazos que él tiene aquí con la comunidad.
Bill will be set in the amount of $1,000 bondable with a 10% cash option.
Vamos a fijar una fianza en un total de $1,000 con derecho al 10% de esto.
The defendant will be required to be monitored by pretrial services.
Se va a requerir de que usted sea monitoreado por los servicios previos al juicio.
I must check in within 1 business day release.
Y tiene usted que reportarse una vez que salga en libertad dentro de un día hábil.
And I am requiring that he complete the DUI grant.
Y sí voy a pedir entonces de que usted le haga las pruebas al azar por
I do find that that is
alcohol.
in order to ensure the safety of the community.
Y esto será para asegurarnos para
That will be
poder probar la seguridad de la comunidad.
That will be the order of the court, and we will set a 72-hour hearing for February 20th at 9:30 a.m.
Ok, entonces eso va a ser la orden. Usted va a tener una audiencia de 72 horas para el 20 de febrero a las 9:30 de la mañana.
The court does not find that there's a sufficient nexus to require testing at this time.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. Not required?
The court does not find that there's a sufficient nexus to require testing.
Ok, entonces la jueza encuentra de que no da el fallo de que no es requerido de que tengan que estar haciendo entonces las pruebas adicionales.
And that concludes this hearing.
Y eso concluye esta audiencia.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter. I believe that's all your cases.
Thank you, Your
witnessed.
Honor. Bye bye.
Next, we have Joseph Arias, followed by Anthony Arroyo. Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 10 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So I was leaning OR on this one at first, but then I dug into his criminal history, and really the big problem for Mr. Arias is that he fails to appear and he doesn't comply. So he scores a 10 on the risk assessment. He did receive 1 point for failures to appear, and he's got an active suspended sentence out of Reno Municipal Court. 2025, he's got a misdemeanor arrest for a failure to appear, a misdemeanor conviction for resisting. That's the one he's on a suspended sentence on out of Reno Municipal Court, and then another misdemeanor arrest for failure to comply. 2024, he's got misdemeanor convictions for domestic battery and violating a domestic violence TPO out of California. He had a vandalism charge dismissed in that case, it looks like as part of negotiations. Also in 2024, he's got misdemeanor conviction for trespassing, and separately misdemeanor convictions for petty larceny, destruction of property, hit and run, and no insurance. In that case, he failed to appear for a bench trial back in 2021, and then he was on the lam until 2024. So really, the problem is I have zero confidence that he's going to show up for court and take care of business. So I do think that some bail is appropriate. I'd request bail amount of $3,000, pretrial services supervision, and no contact with the row casinos.
Thank you. Defense?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask for an OR release. In the alternative, I would ask for a nominal bail amount of $1,000 with the 10% cash option. Looking at this case, this is a gross misdemeanor, showing that this is not a felony. He's not at risk of facing a very long sentence, so he doesn't have a huge reason not to appear for this type of case. This is the type of case that I think would negotiate with a pretty favorable offer for him as long as he pays the restitution back. He unfortunately wasn't able to provide us with any contacts today to confirm, but he is, stop, let me do my argument. He said he is going to start his job as a dishwasher at Jack's. I think that's important in this case as well, because they are going to be asking for some restitution. So I think it is important for him to be able to get out there and start this job so he has the money to pay back for that. He is on Medicaid and Medi-Cal as well, Your Honor, further showing that he can't afford that much more bail. He has been in Reno since May as well. He does currently have another case pending out of Reno Municipal Court as well, showing that he's going to have a hold out of there as well because he is facing a suspended sentence. So he's not an individual who's going to get right out of custody. So looking at all that, I think that an OR release or in the alternative $1,000 bail is something that should be given to this client. Unless there's, and also a no contact order with the location as well. I think that's entirely appropriate in this case. And unless there's any other questions, I will submit on that.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada Pretrial Risk Assessment and factors in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will note the information regarding that he's currently pending a Reno Municipal Court case manager, the likelihood of conviction, the lack of ties to this community, as well as the compliance issues as discussed. With that, bail will be set in the amount of $1,000 bondable with the 10% cash option. Sir, if you're able to post that bail amount, I will require that you be supervised by pretrial services. So you must check in with pretrial services within 24 hours of release. I do find that that is fair and appropriate and necessary given the facts and circumstances in order to mitigate the risk of potential future criminal conduct. Additionally, I am requiring that you have no contact and must stay 100 feet away from the row casinos. That will be the order of the court, and we'll go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing for February 20th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
It's $100. Yeah. Thank you.
Anthony Arroyo, followed by Angel Palomino.
Your Honor, Mr. Arroyo waived his appearance, but I am prepared to proceed.
Thank you. Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant. We will go ahead and waive the defendant's appearance for today's proceeding. I am in receipt of nothing.
Where? Can we? Okay. Okay. Let me skip it and go back to it. And
I can pull it from
the platform. Yeah, I apologize. And they're in my house on my desk.
Okay. Just want to confirm that the parties received the documentation of for this case that wasn't contained in, it's not an Odyssey, but you should have all received everything from the prep packet, so we should be okay to go, correct?
For Mr. Arroyo? Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure you all had everything.
Apologies.
No problem. We're here, as I indicated, the court is in receipt of the Nevada Pretrial Risk Assessment, which indicates as an 8 or moderate risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Arroyo scores an 8 on the risk assessment, and he also has a hold out of district court. That's on a felony conviction in 2024 for use ID of another to delay prosecution. He was sentenced to 12 to 36 suspended with probation in that case. Let's see. At the time of that offense, he was on probation and prohibited from possessing firearms, and he had a gun in the car. So he has a pattern of possessing firearms when he's legally prohibited from doing so. 2023 gross misdemeanor conviction for possession of a firearm without a serial number, and gross misdemeanor conviction for discharging a firearm. In that case, his probation was revoked after he picked up those new felony charges that I just discussed that did result in a conviction. He also has a felony arrest for burglary out of California in 2023 with no disposition. So as I mentioned, he has this history of possessing firearms when he's prohibited from doing so. In this case, we have a series of concerning circumstances surrounding his arrest. He's driving a car with multiple bullet strikes. His passenger possessed a firearm, and then he had the firearm that was also displayed on the lock screen of his phone with an extended magazine, a 40-round magazine loaded with 20 rounds, a distinct red plastic magazine, and stickers on the firearm that stand for everybody killer, which is a term used by gang members expressing their willingness to commit violent crimes. So we have just a series of very concerning facts in addition to his very concerning criminal history. I don't think he's going to comply with any conditions that this court crafts and imposes upon him to protect the community. The state is requesting bail in the amount of $30,000, pretrial services supervision if he's able to post with testing for drugs and alcohol.
Thank you. Defense?
So, Your Honor, I am going to be asking for an OR release. In this case, we did speak with his girlfriend, who has informed us that he will be able to stay with her at her address. She did verify as well that he does have a job that he is about to begin with Tri-State Firefighter, which is like wildland firefighters that he was working for, and he does want to be able to get out of custody to keep doing that job, because that is a pretty good job for an individual with that type of history. He has been in the area for about 6 years as well, showing that he does have a lot of ties to this community. One thing that I did want to note about that tattoo is I don't think that's something that should be used against him. People get tattoos a lot, and then they regret getting them later on. And then they're not able to just get them taken off right away because it's a very, very painful procedure to take that tattoo off. We have no idea when that tattoo was put on him. We have no idea what his ties are right now to any gangs. So I think that's something that should not be taken in consideration and be used to keep him in on. I do think a no weapons clause is appropriate as well, Your Honor. I do think looking at this case, an OR is appropriate with any other conditions this court feels are appropriate, and I'll submit on that.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada Pretrial Risk Assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will note the history of similar offenses as well as the history of firearm offenses. Just for the record, I do not believe that the state indicated anything regarding a tattoo. The information that was provided is regarding a sticker that is located on the firearm.
Sorry.
That in mind, the court is considering it, and that is fair and appropriate to consider the evidence, and that will be considered in terms of also the likelihood of conviction, not with respect to the sticker, but with respect to the firearm that was retrieved, as well as the firearm that was located as a photo on his phone. So I'll just note that for the record, if I do see that he does have a tattoo, which is not what was discussed, and the court is not considering that and had not been planning on that. Based on the facts presented, bail will be set in the amount of $20,000 bondable with no 10% cash option. If the defendant is able to post that bail amount, I will require that he be supervised by pretrial services and must check in within 1 business day of release. I am imposing the condition that he cannot possess any firearms based off his criminal history, and that will be the order of the court. I'm not ordering that he be required to be subjected to testing. I don't find that that is appropriate at this time. We will go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing, which will be set for February 20th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Next, we have Angel Palomino, followed by Dolores Carter.
Your Honor, Mr. Palomino is waiving his appearance, but I am prepared to proceed.
Thank you. Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent him. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that he scored as a 10 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. We will go ahead and waive his appearance for today's proceeding. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The state's requesting bail in the amount of $3,000 with pretrial services supervision if he's able to post and no contact with the row casinos. I think Your Honor mentioned he scores a 10 on the risk assessment. He's got an active suspended sentence out of this court. 2025 misdemeanor convictions for disturbing the peace and reckless driving with 90 days suspended. I believe that's the case out of this court. 2024 misdemeanor conviction for disturbing the peace, also out of this court. 2023, a misdemeanor arrest for probation violation, looks like 2 counts of that. And then 2022, a misdemeanor arrest for failure to appear out of Reno Municipal Court, a misdemeanor conviction for disorderly conduct, and then another misdemeanor arrest for failure to appear in 2021. So he's got a history of compliance issues. He is on a suspended sentence out of this court, and it appears that the likelihood of conviction on this case is high. So the state's requesting the $3,000 bail, pretrial services supervision if he's able to post, and no contact with the row casinos.
Thank you. Defense?
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking for an OR release because he is not able to afford any bail whatsoever. He informed me that he would have to go to the CARES campus because he doesn't have a stable address. Unfortunately, he is not working as well. He is on government assistance as well, further showing he can't afford any bail whatsoever. I think a no contact order with the row and also no drugs and alcohol is entirely appropriate with this case. When you're looking at this case, this is a destruction of property, gross misdemeanor, $250 to $5,000. This isn't a felony or anything like that. Just showing what he is facing shows that he should be given the opportunity to get out of custody and be able to deal with this case from outside custody. With that, Your Honor, I will submit.
Thank you. Do you have any information as to whether or not he's still doing the outpatient partial hospitalization program that was provided in his other matter with Reno Justice Court and RCR 2025-130550?
I don't, Your Honor. I apologize.
Thank you. Give me just one moment. Thank you. I'll just note for the record that based off the facts as presented in the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will note that in that case is referenced that there was pretrial violations where the defendant had been arrested for failure to obey all laws and was pending charges in that case. I'll just note then the record regarding that he is accused of these allegations while pending supervision in at least one matter appears 2 different separate matters. Given that bail will be set in the amount of $1,000 bondable with a 10% cash option, if the defendant is able to post that bail amount, I will require that he be supervised by, and it'll be only monitored by pretrial services, and that he's to have no contact with the row and must stay 100 feet away from the row. That will be the order of the court, and we will go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing. And that 72-hour hearing will be set for February 20th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Dolores Carter, followed by Mohammed Zafar.
Get out. Are you not able to walk? No, I can't. Oh, okay. She's on her way, Your Honor. She's just, yeah.
Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates the defendant scored as a 9 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are we ready to proceed with bail hearing?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So as Your Honor mentioned, Ms. Carter scores a 9 on the risk assessment. She was also arrested on a failure to appear warrant, but she was scored 0 points for failures to appear. She has a case, or she had a case out of this court last year, misdemeanor conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia. In that case, her own recognizance release was revoked after multiple pretrial violations. She posted $200 cash and then continued violating and then failed to appear for an MSC. That warrant was quashed, and then she failed to appear again at the following 2 hearings. That warrant was also quashed when she appeared for entry of plea and sentencing. The state originally did contemplate a suspended sentence with some treatment in there, but ultimately resolved it for credit time served. The rest of her criminal history is pretty remote. She's got a couple of felonies back in 2002 for possessing a narcotic controlled substance out of California, burglary, and then another 2 felony convictions for theft and burglary. And then it looks like she's got a couple of misdemeanors between 1998 and 2001. So based on her recent non-compliance with this court for the same type of charge, the state's requesting bail in the amount of $1,000, or I wouldn't object to an own recognizance release to inpatient with pretrial services supervision and testing for controlled substances.
Thank you. Defense?
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking for an OR release. Obviously, in the alternative, if the court is not inclined to release her on an OR, I would be okay with an OR to direct treatment. Looking at this case, Your Honor, you can see that she is not an individual that's a threat to the community whatsoever, just looking at her criminal history. Looking at the case itself, what happened is she had run out of gas in the roadway. And then somebody had called the cops, they saw her walking away, and that's when they came in contact with her and they saw that she had a warrant, and that's why she was arrested and search incident to arrest found some drugs on her. The amount of drugs that was found on her was very, very small. It was only 0.9 gross gram weight, showing that that was weighed with the packaging itself. The actual drugs itself is even lower than that. So this is a case that I'm hopeful will resolve with something pretty favorable for her as well, just looking at that amount, looking at the circumstances as well. She unfortunately is unhoused. She told me that she can reside at the CARES campus. An individual who is down on their luck, does not have that much funds, and is running out of gas in the middle of the roadway is going to have difficulties making their other court appearances. That's what happens. She is looking for work right now, but unfortunately, she's not able to find anywhere. It's just difficult for her. She is also on government assistance as well. So I do think that she should be able to get an OR release with drug and alcohol testing as well. And like I said before, if the court's not inclined to that, I would ask for an OR release to treatment as well. She unfortunately does have to deal with the RMC case, as the Reno Municipal Court case as well. But I am hopeful that that resolves pretty fast so that she can get that done with and get that past her and just deal with this case and then work on getting her life together. So unless this court has any other questions, I will submit on that.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada Pretrial Risk Assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will note the concerns regarding the appearance of the defendant, the court compliance issues, as well as the failure to appear issues that have been outlined in her pending cases. Bail will be set in an amount of $1,000 that will be bondable with a 10% cash option. If the defendant is able to post that bail out, she will be required to be supervised by pretrial services. And so you would, ma'am, Ms. Carter, be required to check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. I am imposing the condition that you cannot possess any controlled substances or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription and be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. This order will read a bail or an OR release through direct transport to an appropriate treatment facility. I do find that that is necessary as the least restrictive means, and that is the only least restrictive means that can be imposed in order to ensure the safety of the community. The court will go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing, which will be set for February 20th at 9:30 a.m. The court will also set a pre-sentence screening to determine whether or not treatment court is appropriate, not requiring that she be ordered or be sentenced or murdered negotiations to include that. Just we will see if she qualifies for that. And Madam Clerk, do you have that?
Yes, February 23rd at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, which court was that, Your Honor?
Treatment court.
Treatment.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Next, we have Mohammed Zafar. Mr. Zafar. Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 13 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Zafar scores a 13 on the risk assessment with a pending Reno Municipal Court case. Looks like he was cited for possession of drug paraphernalia on January 7th. He was, let's see, also arrested for sex offender failed to register last year. He was charged and then found not competent, and that case was dismissed on February 6th of this year. So 9 days ago. He has another arrest for sex offender failed to register in 2025. That case was also charged. He was sent to Lakes. He was found incompetent and unlikely to attain competency. That case was dismissed on December 5th of 2025. Another felony arrest for the same thing in 2025. That case was no issued for further investigation. He's got a couple of misdemeanors in 2025 as well. It looks like he failed to appear for all of those for which he was released. Those were all out of Reno Municipal Court. Trespassing, looks like they were all trespassing, and a couple of those he has suspended sentences on. 2024, he's got a couple of misdemeanors, trespassing, disturbing the peace, and then he's got a gross misdemeanor conviction in 2023 for open and gross lewdness, and then some misdemeanors that year as well with some failures to appear, and then he's got criminal history, a couple more misdemeanors going back to 2019. So unfortunately, he's a very high risk of continued criminal conduct and future non-appearance. I would just note a summary of the facts of this case. He approached a front desk clerk at midnight and pulled his pants down and displayed his penis to her. So the state is requesting bail in the amount of $3,000 with pretrial services supervision if he's able to post.
Thank you. Defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for an OR release due to Mr. Zavar's inability to make any bail whatsoever. Mr. Zavar, unfortunately, when you look at these cases, you could see there's some mental health issues that affects him as well. Just looking at the case itself, you can see that there's some mental health issues right there. He does not have a place to go, unfortunately. He would go to CARES campus, and he's not able to work right now, and he is on government assistance, further showing that he's not able to make any bail whatsoever. It would result in a de facto detention order. I think a no contact order with that individual in that location is entirely appropriate as well. If this court's not inclined to give him an OR release, I would ask for, in the alternative, an OR release to some type of treatment center or something that would be beneficial for him in the long run so that he can stop this cycle. With that, Your Honor, I'll submit.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. Bail will be set amount of $3,000 bondable with a 10% cash option based off of the allegations that contain the risk to the community, as well as the significant criminal history in terms of the allegations as discussed with respect to the similar offenses in nature. Additionally, the court will require that if the defendant is able to post that bail amount and the likelihood of conviction, my apologies, that he be subjected to pretrial services supervision and be required to be supervised by pretrial services and must check in within 1 business day release. I am imposing a no contact order with that location, so he must stay 100 feet away from 500 North Sierra Street. That'll be the order of the court, and we'll go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing for February 20th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Madam Clerk, do you have an update regarding Jane Doe?
As of right now, I do not, Your Honor.
Thank you. So just for the party's information, the court reached out again to pretrial services for a WINS check and has not received any response. This was continued from yesterday in order for a WINS check to proceed. State, what is your request?
Your Honor, the state would request another day. The problem, we have no idea what her identity is. I couldn't even charge her right now. I have no idea what her criminal history is, and we don't have that risk assessment as required by law. So the state would request another day.
Thank you. So okay, go ahead. Defense?
So, Your Honor, in all honesty, I was not able to get much information from her because of mental health issues. I was prepared to just ask for an interim bail today, but I was confused because I didn't see the NPRA either. I was going to ask for an interim bail, but if the state is asking for 1 additional day, I won't object to that.
Thank you. The court does find that there's good cause for a 1-day continuance based off of the no objection from the defense. So we'll just note that we'll continue this for tomorrow, and we will be proceeding tomorrow with or without that witness check. So if it's an interim bail, we just, unfortunately, I cannot have an individual in the Washoe County Jail on these charges without having an interim bail for the significant period of time, without any additional assurances. As I'll just note, we have not received any information back from pretrial services regarding the check. So that will be the order of the court. We will go ahead and set this for tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
And I'll follow up this afternoon if we don't get.
And I believe that is everyone from today's docket. Just want to confirm that before we conclude today's hearing.
Yes, Your Honor, there's nobody else.
Thank you.